So check this out, DJI has their Osmo 360. A camera with 2 lenses that can stitch out the selfie stick and capture everything, and then you frame it later. And by the way, I'm actually using this right now to film in 360 with the microphone, and yeah, so far, I'm loving it.
MrBlack.
And hey, if you like gadgets and gear, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Don't be a stranger to the channel. Also, click that like button if you appreciate the efforts and lengths I go to make these videos. And I'll put links to everything, and I mean everything, including this jersey, down in the description. Now, DJI did send this to me so that I could take my time, play around with the features, and then share my thoughts and experiences with you guys. And the first thing that I noticed, it's very lightweight. So if you do have this thing out on a long selfie stick, you might not see as much bend or wobble to it when you hit like a bump or something, because it's a lot lighter. It's also pretty small in comparison to some of the other ones that are out there. And you have a quarter thread on the bottom, plus DJI's magnetic quick release plate, which are the same ones from the action cameras. You have USB-C for fast data transfer, and you have the battery, which also is the same one as the action cameras. So if you have those batteries already, that's a huge win right there. Now, it does have an SD card slot, but they give you internal storage already. And that's up to 105 gigabytes of usable storage after their software and stuff. All right, so we powered this thing on, and if you've ever used DJI's action cameras or pocket cameras, the menu is gonna be very familiar. And if you swipe down, you get the menu where you have your custom presets. You can also have orientation on or off. You can connect those microphones there. You can turn on gesture controls, and gesture controls, you can start and stop video recordings, and you can connect your AirPods to this. That way, if you have this thing like out somewhere where you can't control it, you could just talk through it and say start recording that way, because it does have voice control where you can say things like start recording, stop recording, take photo, or shut down. And then there's a few more things you could do in that menu. You can also touch the screen and move around in the 360 field just like that. You can't zoom in and out with pinch to zoom, but you can move it around to see your shot. On the bottom, you have your resolution and your frame rates, and also your stabilization and field of view. And then on the left bottom, you have your different modes. So when we go into that in 360 mode, you have panoramic photo, which you can get up to 120 megapixels, which is insane. And that's what this looks like right here. This is a photo, and I'm just gonna move it around a little bit and zoom in. And look at that, it's just super clear. Then you have your panoramic video or 360 video, and you can get up to 8K 50 frames per second, 6K you can get 60 frames, and then 4K 100 frames per second. You can have a pre-recorded video, so 5 seconds all the way up to 5 minutes. So that way it's pre-recording, and then when you hit record, it's captured that pre-recording. And then also loop recording up to 1 hour. So it'll just keep recording, and then just after an hour, it just kind of starts deleting the end of the last one. Now the next mode is super night, and this is where you can get low light footage. You can get up to 8K 30 frames per second, and wow, it looks awesome on this bike, and it just makes the darker images look very sharp. Then you have selfie mode. So if you're just kind of walking in selfie mode, you just hold it out like this, and it'll just give you the video that you're recording right there, so you don't have to do any kind of reframing afterwards. And with that, you can get up to 4K 60 frames per second. There's a Vortex mode, and this one's really cool. You put it on DJI's Vortex handle, pull the selfie stick out, and you spin it around your head. It's great for capturing something with motion, like this one with the bubbles. And you can have it slowed down 8 times in 4K, so 4K 240 frames per second, or up to 6K 120 frames per second, which is slowed down 4 times. And besides that Vortex handle, they also have a very long pole. It's like lightweight, but it is like strong and stiff, so when you hold this thing out, it's not just like bending at the end of it. It's really cool. And yeah, this is definitely a must if you want to get like those really high up shots or really creative like jib shots, or even if you're somewhere where you're not allowed to fly a drone, you throw your Osmo 360 on top of that, and you're just making it look like drone shots. They've also launched this tripod right here with a selfie stick, and this one has that button on the bottom, so when you hit the ground, the tripod legs open up, making it that much easier just to set it down if you have a lot of things in your hand. And that's also really cool for their pocket cameras or their action cameras. I mean, any camera, this is a Cool, I love that. Then you have hyperlapse, where you can get 360 hyperlapses or time lapses, and it gives you some custom presets like cloud sunsets, or you can turn on night mode if it's dark out there. And then next to 360, you have single lens mode. This basically takes each lens and makes it its own camera. So now you have an action camera on both sides. So if you just want to like vlog it like this and just basically use an action camera for your talking points, you can. But I can run with it. How steady is that? Rock steady? Oh yeah. You can get 5K up to 60 frames per second with rock steady, ultra wide, wide, and standard de-warped. Or if you want even more stabilization, you can actually drop it down to 4K 60, and you can get their horizon steady. And horizon steady works like this. So if I'm moving the camera like that, it's keeping the horizon steady. I also love that as I'm recording, I can actually change the lenses while I'm recording. That's a huge feature for single lens mode. Then you also have boost video, where boost mode just gives you a wider field of view up to 4K 120 frames per second for some decent slow motion or buttery smooth shots. You can just see how wide that is. I also love how when you turn it sideways, it automatically rotates, so you can shoot vertical videos with single lens mode just that easy. Now let's get down to the nitty and gritty of this and talk about the core features and specs. And the Osmo 360 is equipped with a new generation 1/1.1 inch square CMOS sensor. Now that square design enables the camera to deliver panoramic coverage equivalent to that of a 1-inch sensor, and also 10-bit DLog M color. So now instead of a rectangular one where you're not even using any of these pixels, it's actually using that square, and that way you're getting more vertical pixels in the image. And then that sensor size also delivers enhanced light sensitivity up to 13.5 stops of dynamic range. And that's also combined with an f1.9 aperture. In fact, there's several times when I've been editing the footage of this where I'm just like, wow, either the colors or like the shot with the trees, like I wasn't framing it for those trees. I just moved the camera up there as I was editing some other stuff, and I was like, whoa, that's a great shot. And again, one of the biggest benefits of a 360 camera is that you're capturing everything and then you reframe it later. So you might see something completely different the next time you're editing these clips because you can look around. Now, DLog M, this is a color mode that provides users with greater flexibility for color grading. And with shooting with DLog M, the footage will have reduced saturation and contrast, but it retains more color and brightness information, making it easier to create different video styles during post-production. A lot of people have their certain LUTs that they want to put on and just kind of keep the image looking consistent to their style, and that's a great way to do it. Now, we talked a little bit about stabilization with single lens mode, but just even stabilization on 360 mode, it was funny when we're riding those bikes around, Emma was holding the camera in the back and she goes, oh, I don't think this is gonna look good.
I don't know how this footage is gonna turn out, but we'll see.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome.
Okay.
I have a feeling, and I knew because I knew that their stabilization is next level, that no matter what she was doing with it, it's gonna be a good shot. And they did not disappoint. That footage looks amazing, even though she thought it wasn't going to. The surfaces of the Osmo 360 dual fisheye lenses are treated with multi-layer coatings and hardening processes, which helps ensure outstanding image quality, along with enhanced scratch and abrasion resistance to withstand minor impacts and scratches on your daily use. However, as camera lenses are high precision and have delicate components, careful handling and protection are recommended. And that also means no interchangeable lenses, which might have some people up in arms, but I can make the argument that I've been using 360 cameras since 2018, and I've never actually scratched my lenses and needed replacements. So then let's talk about the audio. Now, obviously there's a lot of microphones on here and they sound really good just by themselves, but one of my favorite things is that you can connect DJI's mic minis or their mic 2 or any other mics that are probably gonna come out right to this. And not just one, you can do 2 microphones. It says 2 microphones. 1, 2.
1, 2.
That's awesome.
Pretty cool.
And that's a game changer too, because if you have other people with you and you're recording videos, it's so nice to like hear the conversation and just be able to talk it out. You can hear everyone clearly.
You getting any funny looks?
Yeah, no?
I think everyone's jealous.
You can hold it out straight too, because it's the pole's gonna be invisible. You also notice that it's completely sealed up. It's waterproof up to 33 feet. This would be great to take out surfing or snorkeling or anywhere where you want to go underwater. This will capture that. But here's probably the big one that people are always going to be wondering about is the workflow. So they have an app And they have one for the computer, like a studio app, and they also have one for the phone. And because this has Wi-Fi 6.0 and USB 3.1 for fast data transfer, and it is fast. I plugged this thing into my computer. You can just have it connected and you can edit all of those files from here through that USB-C connection. As far as the app on the phone, I have not really played around with that, so I can't give you the answer to it. I did connect it to it, did any firmware updates, and you can also preview your shot, move it around. But we'll play with that a little bit more and see how that goes on a future video. But as far as using it on the computer, it was easy to auto track, it was easy to set keyframes, and one of my favorite things that some of the other ones didn't have is you can like cut parts out. So I do a lot of like recording for 6 minutes, and maybe there's a shot there and maybe there isn't. Instead of having to do all the keyframing and then export that whole thing, I can cut chunks of it out, and that's a big one for me. Then you can add cool filters. You could do a lot with that, and again, that's probably another video because this one's long enough as it is. So that right there, that's the DJI Osmo 360 in a nutshell. There's a lot going on and some concerts I'm going to. It'll be fun to get some 360 videos and maybe even do a comparison to this one right here. So stay tuned for all of that, plus some live streams coming up. And thank you so much for watching. If you want to see some other cool DJI videos I've done, you can click one of these videos on the screen. Other than that, it's time to get back to playing with this, and I'll see you on the next one.